Hello guys, it's me Finley. Welcome back to a new video on the channel. Now guys, today we are back reacting to some more scary animations. And also guys, before the video starts, I just wanted to tell you guys quickly two things. One, I literally just tried to post a video of me playing Minecraft, but for some reason the video just did not save. And secondly, if you guys do want a shout out, just tell me in school tomorrow and you will get a shout out. But anyways, let's just hop straight into reacting to these scary animations and let's go. Right. Story 1.
There was an old abandoned building near my house.
Okay.
Typical, I know. Anyways, there were hundreds of rumors and stories about this building. Some normal, some insanely out of this world. Some used to say an insane maniac lived in there and tortured anyone who entered. I've even heard that it's a portal to another dimension where nightmares come to life. The only consistent bit of knowledge was that whoever went in never came back. My best friend Samuel and I were huge enthusiasts when it came to anything supernatural or even remotely strange, so we decided to check it out. Since the latest disappearances, cops have been patrolling the area during the day, trying to prevent anyone from getting in, so we had to wait till night. At about 10:30, he came over to start preparing the gear. We made sure to pack some food, warm clothes, and my handgun, in case there was a homicidal maniac living there. We left the house around 11:30 to 12ish, and arrived at the building a couple of minutes later. The second we step out of the car, I noticed an unusual eerie fog surrounding the building. Seeing that it was wintertime, the fog wasn't new to the area, so I didn't think much of it at the time, other than it was extremely thick. We grabbed our gear and headed inside. The door was locked, so we had to break a window to get inside. We threw our stuff in, then climbed into the building. The worst mistake of my life. If I could go back in time, I would have never stepped foot in that hellhole. The first thing I noticed inside was how abnormally dark it was. Though we had LED flashlights, they didn't do much help seeing in front of us. We had about 3 feet range of vision, but...
Alright guys, I will be back now. It says, the face cam, as you can see the lighting. So I will be back now trying to sort that out. Just give me a sec. Alright guys, we are back. Hopefully that's good. And let's just carry on with the video.
We decided to explore anyways. Samuel was holding the camera and switched to night vision, but even that didn't do much good. I was holding the flashlight and had my hand close to my gun in case some deranged psychopath attacks from the darkness. As we reached the center of the building, I noticed a smell. Not a nice smell. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. It had a metallic tinge to it. And
this is how fast YouTube is with Brave.
Of course there's that advert. Are you kidding me?
And here's how you can see how much
tinge to it and slightly burnt my nose with each inhale. What's that smell? I don't know. It's hard to guess. We followed a long stretch of hallway that led to an open area. The big wall of that room was a huge hole that created a direct entrance into the house from the woods. Vines and saplings were growing all over the floor, ceilings, and walls as well. For a moment, I felt like we had stepped into a wildlife sanatorium.
Oh no.
As I flashed my LED light on the hole in the wall, my eyes started getting blurry and my hands started shaking. The flashlight started flickering. Samuel tripped over something and the camera flew out of his hand. It slid a couple of feet, then fell somewhere in the room, shattering into pieces. We knew it was beyond broken, so we didn't even bother trying to get it.
It's so scary.
We turned the flashlight to the ground to try and figure out what Samuel had tripped over. As the light showed the ground, my heart stopped in fear. A dead deer was lying on the floor. It was torn apart. The body had been chewed on, clawed at, and ripped up. Blood was all over the floor. I immediately recognized the smell. So, it was blood all this time, but the smell was too pungent to have been from one deer. Taking a closer look at the floor, I noticed the blood smeared all over the floor. Not only that, there were prints in the blood, almost like hands, but the fingers were too long. By long, I mean almost a foot in length, and they were pointed at the tip, almost like talons. The prints were everywhere, on the floor, on the walls, and even a few on the ceiling. Oh my
Oh,
God, is this some
no.
kind of animal?
Hopefully.
I strongly believe we shouldn't be here, man.
Yeah.
But don't you want to know? Saying this,
I don't.
Samuel
I would just
started
get
to
out of there
follow
as
those
fast as
freaky
possible.
handprints. The prints all seemed to lead to one room. The door to the room was barely hinged, and the knob was completely torn off.
No, don't go in.
My heart was racing. What the hell is in there? No animal could have done this. No living creature had
Don't
prints
go
like
in
this.
there.
Shh, keep quiet. Samuel was confused by curiosity, and before I could stop him, Samuel pushed the door open. What we saw still haunts me to this day. Piles and piles of bodies,
What?
some still intact,
What?
others dismembered beyond recognition.
There's bones
Some
in
animal
that
parts
house.
were unmistakably human. The blood on the floor was about an inch high. There were the same prints on the wall and the ceiling.
No.
Suddenly, we heard footsteps inside the room, and I realized we weren't the only ones here.
No.
Did you hear that? Someone behind us? No. I think it's above us. My heart sunk right at that point. Samuel was right. With shaking hands, we both flashed our lights to the ceiling and froze in terror. A man was crawling on the ceiling.
Oh my
Except he looked too
God.
disfigured to be called a man.
Oh my
His head
God,
was
look
bigger
at
than
him.
his body.
No.
And he had long, pointy fingers
No.
that pointed into sharp claws. The creature had no
Look
skin.
at his teeth.
We could see its veins and muscles
Oh
popping
no.
out like a nightmare. The scariest
my-
part was
oh
his
my
eyes.
God.
There was no pupil in them, just red, plain eyeballs. The creature let out a demonic scream, opening its huge mouth,
No.
and we ran for
Run.
our lives,
Oh my
screaming like hell.
God.
We could hear the running footsteps of the creature behind us. Whatever it was hungry for our blood. Run, Chris, run! I was about to jump out of that broken window when I heard Samuel scream. I turned around and saw that devil had grasped him by the neck. It looked at me and smiled, showing its huge teeth. Samuel dangled into the air as the creature held him above the ground. And
No.
before I could do anything, it snapped
He
my
bit
friend's
his
neck
head
like a
off.
twig.
He bit his head
Saliva
off.
dripped from
No.
its ugly, horrifying
No.
mouth as it started to devour him. I couldn't wait anymore because I knew he would come for me once he is done with Samuel. I ran home and stormed into my parents' bedroom, covered in sweat and tears. I told them everything that happened, and they called 911. Cops came and called for backup once they discovered all those bodies and the bloody scene inside the house.
Oh my God.
Samuel was never found, and out of agony, locals burnt the house to the ground.
Yes.
The cops ruled Samuel's case under the missing persons
Missing
category,
prison.
and no one believed me when I told them about this creature. A few years after this incident, I found out shocking information about that place. It is said that many years ago, during the time of the Russian sleep experiment, something similar was conducted in that house. It happened to be a prison for refugee criminals. I don't know if what I saw was real or not, but I am definite some twisted science experiment created this creature that still lurks in those woods behind our house.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the video. If so, please leave a like. And also, a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. If you want to support this channel and make this channel reach the...
This is good or bad. After that day, I know where the saying curiosity killed the cat comes from. I was in high school when this happened. One day, I discovered that not far from my house, there was an abandoned building. Recently, it had become popular among the students to go to abandoned places and explore them.
Oh no. Don't
Besides,
follow the lead.
I thought that later I would have an
Don't follow
interesting
the
story to
lead.
tell that would make me look like a cool person. Excited, I told my friends, Ethan, Christopher, and Matthew, and tried to convince them to go with me. At first, Ethan didn't want to come with us, but finally he agreed. Perhaps he didn't want to miss out on that experience. Anyway, we agreed to go the next day after classes ended.
Okay.
Walking to the place was a bit tiring, as the building was quite deep in the forest, but we managed to get there after a half an hour. The place left us speechless. It was a pretty big building. The walls
Oh my
were dirty,
God.
covered in graffiti and plants. Most of the windows were broken, though that didn't help us see what was
Oh
inside.
my god.
After a few seconds, we approached the stairs. The front door was open and somewhat broken, so we could get in through there. We had to
Okay.
make our way up the stairs, as there was rubble along with the dirt and dust.
Okay.
So, the four of us stood still once we were at the door of the building. Go first, Steve. It was your idea. You're not scared, are you? Of course I was. At least a little. Now that we were there, I felt less
Oh
excited,
my god.
but I refused to admit it.
Stop
So I
being...
went inside.
No.
Everything looked as expected. There wasn't much furniture, and what was still there was useless, broken, and full of mold. There was also graffiti drawn on
I'm
the
scared that
walls
there's
and
going to be a jump
floors,
scare. So I was
almost
like,
all
oh.
of which were obscene words or drawings. At another time, I would have found it funny, but not right now. Suddenly, there was a loud noise behind us. The door had been closed with great force, which startled us.
Don't
Ethan,
laugh.
Matthew, and I looked at our friend, the last to enter, with annoyance. What? It was just a little joke. Once we inspected the entrance, we went to the other rooms. In all of them,
Oh.
there seemed to be exactly the same thing as the previous ones, which quickly bored me. For some reason, I expected there to be something more interesting in this place. It was
Okay.
actually quite simple, but perhaps
Okay.
I had judged the building too quickly. My heart started beating fast when I saw Ethan walk into the room at the end of the hall and stand still. The expression of fear and confusion on his face was unsettling.
Okay.
Quickly, the rest of us approached. "Go away"
Go
was
away.
written on one of the walls. in
I
red.
think you should go away
The
then.
paint looked very
That's
shiny,
about. I've
as if
heard
it were
other scary
fresh.
stories, and
Suddenly,
if that happens, then you need to go away. Why is it on that ad? Get away.
Suddenly, Christopher started laughing. You see your faces? You guys are seriously scared?
Oh my
Our
god.
friend walked over to the letters
Don't be
and touched them.
stupid.
Then he
Don't.
showed us his hand,
It's
which was
blood.
dry.
It's
Some asshole painted it to scare people.
Ah.
See? You guys are a joke.
ah.
It was pretty obvious, actually. But being in a place like this, with such a mysterious atmosphere and abandoned appearance,
Yeah.
made you paranoid.
Yeah. Exactly.
Still, we soon started to feel comfortable and began to split up to explore. I was the first one who decided to go up to the second floor.
Don't go to.
From the moment I put one of my feet on that floor, an awful smell reached my nose. It was like something was rotting, which gave me goosebumps.
At
What
least
more
it's
could
their
there be
friend. Come
than a
on.
body? More out of morbidity and curiosity than anything else, I followed the stench,
No.
which seemed to come from the second room.
That's
I
good.
slowly poked my head into the room. Seconds later, I felt vomit in my throat. Wanted to come
scary.
out. There was a dead animal on the spot. Perhaps it was a cat, or perhaps a small dog. The truth
This is
was
scary, guys.
that it was in a state of decomposition, in which it was very difficult to distinguish
Oh
what it was.
my god.
It wasn't human, but it was very horrible to see. The worst thing, in fact, was that it had no eyes, just two black holes in what had once been its face.
What? That's it.
Ugh! I tried very hard not to vomit. Having my mouth stink of acid and food
I'm not gonna-
wouldn't be nice on the way home. Suddenly, I heard a sound behind me, coming from the first room. Ugh! Chris, stop it! I was already tired of Christopher's jokes. I couldn't believe he kept trying to scare us like that. When I heard the sound again, I was finally furious. Chris, enough already! Stop it! I quickly approached the first room in the hall. The fury I felt was replaced by fear as soon as I saw what was inside. I told you to go away.
No.
Could be seen on the wall
No.
this time.
No.
I thought it was another joke, of course, but then I couldn't see the paint dripping off the letters. This time, it was fresh. I stood there a few seconds, breathless, frozen, until I was able to
Why are
react.
my hands up like that?
Guys,
Why are my hands
I
up
ran
like
down
this?
the stairs while screaming. Soon the others, alerted, arrived. We gotta... Just when I was going to tell them to get out of there, we started to hear some voices outside the building. One of them shouted that we shouldn't be there.
No.
Another then yelled
no,
for
no,
us to
no.
go away.
No.
Perhaps it was the police. We all looked scared at each other, except Matthew, who made a sign with his hand for us to follow him. As quietly as possible, we walked to a room at the back of the building.
No.
We managed to close the door, which thankfully wasn't broken. and looked around the room. Apparently, this one had another door
Oh
that seemed
no.
like an exit,
Look.
since it was closed. Matthew's plan was for me to open it, since I had a certain skill at doing that. Not because I used it, but because it entertained me. I took out a small piece of metal that I had brought just in case
Oh
and started.
no.
Quick! I'm on it. It was taking me longer than usual because, apart from being nervous and under pressure, I had the strange feeling that something behind the door was watching me. Almost. The door finally gave way. I started to open it when I was able to notice that the air inside was dense. It wasn't a way out. Go away!
Oh my
A
god.
scream went out from the room when we were able to see what was inside. Terrified, I walked backwards, but tripped and fell to the ground.
No, we fell.
You shouldn't be here.
No.
Escape.
In that small room,
No.
which did not even have
Look at that.
windows, there were
Look
two
at that.
corpses
Oh,
that at this point
look
were
at
nothing
that.
more than bones.
This.
Still, it was obvious that these were people.
No.
Terrified, the four of us ran out of that
Oh
room.
my.
We didn't care if the
God.
police were outside.
No.
We just did
no.
it.
No.
But as we
no,
ran
no.
to the entrance, it began to tremble. The walls started shaking.
No.
The rubble
the
began
walls.
to fall.
The walls.
One of them
The
hit my arm,
walls.
but I kept going, despite everything.
There's a cut on his chin.
Luckily, we got away with just a few bumps and scratches. To our surprise, no one else was around. In the end,
What?
we decided to inform the police,
Oh
despite
my
everything.
god.
Inspecting the scene and the bones, they discovered that they belonged to a young woman who had disappeared a long time ago and a
Oh my
man who had
God.
escaped from prison. Since there were only bones left, they couldn't figure out exactly what had happened, but there were theories based on some evidence.
Theories.
There was a chain on the wall, and the door was full of scratches. There were also traces of some very old blood on the floor.
Oh
The
no.
conclusion was that the man had kidnapped her, perhaps to torture or rape her. Somehow, the woman would
No.
have managed to hurt him, but during the fight, she was also seriously injured. In her state, she couldn't open the door and died. Meanwhile, all I could think
Oh
about
my-
was what the voices said that day.
My heart's racing
Go
right
away.
now.
And you shouldn't be here. Escape. Perhaps the man didn't want us to discover his crime, like the cowardly rat that he was. And I'd like to think that maybe the young woman wanted to protect us.
Yeah, maybe.
My-
But yes, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy, then please drop a like and subscribe. And also, guys, like I said, if you guys do want a shout out in tomorrow's video, then just ask me in school, and then I will most probably give you a shout out. That's if I can remember your guys' names. But anyways, hopefully, like I said, you guys did enjoy this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.